Do you reckon it's going to the change? People obviously fear this now because it's a large sort of change. Do you reckon it's going to have that much of an impact in
Yes.
reality?
Yes. No, I do, because the thing is, it's changed the paradigm of what you can do. This tool is available, and there are going to be. I mean, you've got Llama 2, which has been brought out by Meta. You've got Bard coming out from Google. So, like, the genie's out of the bottle with these things.
Right. So we've covered off quite a lot already, but I think it would be a missed opportunity if I didn't ask you about the current things that are going on with
Absolutely.
OpenAI and ChatGPT, and just to get your thoughts on it. Like, what's sort of, how do you feel about this? And we could bring in sort of stable diffusion stuff like Mid-Journey if you want as well. But OpenAI and ChatGPT are kind of like the mainstream, large language pieces that I just think I'd just love to hear your thought on it.
Well, I mean, look, they are absolutely remarkable pieces of technology. I mean, ChatGPT. I think everyone who just opened their browser and had a go at it was blown away by what it can do. And once you start learning a little bit about the machinery, it really is remarkable how they've been able to do that. Where they have the transformer models, but I think the thing that it was what they, so you have the GPT architecture transformer, so the generative pre-trained transformer model in the background. But what really got it was this Instruct GPT, which is another add-on to this. And what that was doing was reinforcement learning with human feedback. And that was the thing because the thing is, you had GPT transformers work, but they needed prompts in a very specific way. The data had to be framed in a very certain way to actually trigger the generative process of the decoder model. I think it's the decoder model. That'd be embarrassing if I got that wrong. But anyway, it's but so that's what's remarkable behind the hood. But the reinforcement learning with human feedback, whereby they would write prompts and then a human would then judge how well they think that prompt, and that's what got that conversational manner going on. But I mean, it's how they've managed to do that is just brilliant.
Do you reckon it's going to change? People obviously fear this now because it's a large sort of change. Do you reckon it's going to have that much of an impact in reality?
Yes. No, I do, because the thing is, it's changed the paradigm of what you can do. This tool is available, and there are going to be. I mean, you've got Llama 2, which has been brought out by Meta. You've got Bard coming out from Google. So, like, the genie's out of the bottle with these things. So, it was like when Google came on the scene. Okay, learning how to use them. But this is where I'm going to sort of come around to it. Learning how to use them is the important thing. And it's like with all tools, it's not just learning what you can do with them, but learning where the caveats are as well. And I think that's got to be the careful thing that you have with them, because ChatGPT was trained, as I say, the way it did this reinforcement learning, it was trained to give answers that sound convincing, but it doesn't mean they're factually correct. So I think it will be a great addition, but it's not going to just replace humans in this way. I mean, I think I've heard these phrases like, you're not going to be there are going to be some jobs that are replaced by AI, but in many cases, your job's not going to be replaced by AI. You're going to be replaced by someone who does your job and uses AI.
Yeah,
because they'll be using it to maximize their productivity. They'll be using it to just get ahead. Things like, what do they call it? I'm completely it's an add-on for VS Code. It's autopilot that you can get autopilot. Copilot, sorry, that's it. Whereby you can just sort of describe something and it might write some boilerplate code for you. But again, it will require a good developer to then look at that and say, what's wrong with this? Has this got any anti-patterns in it? Is this really okay? And the example I give is if you say write a scientific article, it'll do something like that, and it'll actually, it'll
Do a good job of it,
it'll
but
put references in, but the references are just total jackanory. They don't exist. Yeah, this is in Scientific American. It's like, no, it wasn't. It's not actually real. But what it's learned is that pattern of linguistic pattern follows it, because the generative this when these generative models work, so what they get. So when you have some of these transformer models, like when it came to, if you want to isolate named entity recognition, what they'll do is they're allowed to look at the text before and the text that came afterwards, and they can use both to get an idea of where are we talking about, say, molecules within this, and it can find them based on linguistic patterns before and afterwards. But a generative transformer, all it gets is, given these words that have come before, what's probabilistically comes, given that we want to satisfy what's also come in this instruct GPT as well. So it's just generating text based on what's come before it. And if that's jackanory, it's jackanory. But if it sounds good, that's the thing. So
yeah,
I think
it's
you
how
can
it's
use
used.
OpenAI, and that's what I think. But there's also a business opportunity for people there, because if you can say to clients, well, we're going to make use of this, but by coming to us, what you've got is you've also got the expertise whereby we will verify the outputs. We'll make sure that we're not just churning the output of ChatGPT into you. And then you're saying to people, you can use this by yourself, but it might give you anything. It might give you a load of nonsense. And
Yeah.
if you want to base business decisions on that, so there is an opening for people to use that and provide a service to people, and people are doing it. Where in fact I think it could have the biggest effects are actually not within our industry. I think in more the creative industries. So take, for example, now you mentioned Midjourney. If I want to say start up my own little consultancy again, and I want to make either like a buzz tagline for my company, a name for my company, a logo for my company, it's the sort of thing you might have to go to a graphic designer for.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't. I would throw things in, and again, you haven't got the danger. It doesn't need to be, a logo is not factually correct. I just need to look at it and go, do I like it? Try another one, try another one. Oh, actually, yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I've saved myself money now because I would have gone to a graphic designer for that. So that's how I think it's going to disrupt it. Where I think it's dangerous is propagation of misinformation, because that whole thing is, it's trained to be convincing, but how do we know that it's not bovine excrement? We don't. And there's enough of that by humans. And once computers can do that on steroids, that's going to be a problem. That's the dark side of this.
So there you have it. That is just a small clip of what we do on the Data Strategist podcast. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want to watch the full video, it is just over there. Thanks very much, everybody, and I hope to see you again soon.